With 30 days to the end of the 2021-2022 financial year, part of the 47.7 trillion budget remains unspent due to budget inefficiencies by ministries, departments and agencies. Such funds will be returned to the Consolidated Fund by 31st June. A report by the Budget Committee of Parliament indicates that as of 31st December 2021, over 3.1 trillion shillings of the 17.2 trillion shillings released by the Ministry of Finance remained unspent. A breakdown shows 230 billion shillings of Treasury operations, 116.8 billion for State House, 95.9 billion for Ministry of Defence, and 71.9 billion shillings for Parliamentary Commission was unspent. The Ministry of Lands remained with 60 billion shillings, Ministry of Health 49.7 billion, KCCA 48 billion, and Uganda National Roads Authority 40.8 billion shillings. Members of the Budget Committee say that the unrealistic work plans and delays in the procurement process account for this.
Yeah, it is a huge concern. That's why members of Parliament, like monies which they return from districts and other MDS to consolidated account, it has been our prayer that that money forms part of the opening balance for next budget, but it has not been a practice. For them, simply they say the money goes to consolidated account.
But there are also entities that will simply budget. So money is released, and then they begin planning for what to do with that money. And that happens even at the closure of a financial year. You will have money that will be returned by local government, by ministries, by statutory authorities, because they did not plan to absorb it properly. So they get shocked when the money is released. Then they begin planning. Sometimes they are caught by time.
It depends on which stage of procurement process that particular MDA had reached. Because you see, disbursements only happens when everything is contracted, work is done, completion certificates are released, if you are doing, for example, construction. So it is done in a phased manner.
MPs worry that if this budget indiscipline by accounting officers goes unpunished, it is service delivery that will be sacrificed.
If money was meant to extend water, water will not have been extended, and then money will have to come back to the Treasury, and the requisitioning for the same money may take you almost the same amount of time. So government needs to be efficient. Government agencies need to plan, because submission of a budget is not a guarantee that the plan is ready. Sometimes it's money for roads.
If budget is not executed timeously, then the service delivery to the population is grossly affected. So sometimes the problem is by the Ministry of Finance not to release the requisite funds in time. And that also depends on the level of our domestic revenue collection, depends on the grant streams that had been agreed during the budget process or concluding the loans.
Herbert Ziwa, NTV at Parliament.